In this video, I'm going to show you how to take apart a ZWO dedicated astrophotography camera and clean it. Welcome back to the Narrowband channel. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Now, on to the content, okay? I specifically shoot a lot with my ZWO 1600 Pro. Okay, and this is going to happen to you. This is going to happen to everybody. Eventually, you're going to have to take your camera apart and you're going to have to clean the actual sensor itself, or at least the window that's on it. Okay, now doing that is a little freaky and kind of scary at first. I know I was really nervous, but it's actually not that hard. Okay, it really turned out to be a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And I know ZWO has PDFs on their website on how to do this, but there's this one cardinal sin that they commit, and if you watch this video, I would like you to not commit this sin. That is, they take the camera and with the sensor window open and exposed, they hold it up, okay, facing upwards. Okay, now let me tell you something about dust. Okay, and when digital cameras first came out, my mentor told me, you know, you take the lens off the camera, you don't hold it up. Now I can do that with this guy. This is an Olympus EM1 Mark III. Olympus has a fantastic dust removing technology out there. Now, the surfaces of my lenses don't have that technology yet. So I don't take this guy and hold it up, okay, facing upwards where dust is coming down. I usually try to keep them at a 90-degree angle when I'm changing lenses, and that just keeps them clean. Same thing with this guy. When I take him off the telescope, he either gets pointed downwards or he's kept at a 90-degree angle. Okay, same thing with my filters. Okay, and I've watched other videos from other YouTube bloggers out there, and they all take their filters out and they hold the glass up, which as soon as you do that, like just a second later, you're going to start getting little pieces of dust on there. Even as you clean it, if you're holding it upwards, more dust is settling on it as you're cleaning it. So, and you're going to see as I take mine apart, I keep it at a 90-degree angle, and if you do that, you'll get your sensor perfectly clean, and you'll get the sensor window perfectly clean, and you won't get any more dust on it, and you'll be able to put it together repaired. All right, let's begin.
Throughout the process here, I washed my hands before, in the middle, and right before I reassembled everything. So wash your hands very thoroughly and work in an area that you've cleaned and dusted. Also, I used alcohol after each time I washed my hands. You know, if you have any cuts in your hand, that could be a little painful, but the nice thing about alcohol is that you're guaranteed that your hands are going to be dry very, very quickly versus, you know, soap and water. Now, taking it apart is pretty simple, and there are many different types of ZWO cameras. So some of them have the built-in tilt shift plates in the front. Those types of cameras are not sealed. This is a ZWO 1600 one of the older style, and it is a sealed up sensor, which is actually a good thing. I prefer a sealed sensor over a tilt shift plate because that's something you can add in your imaging train. But we're just taking it apart. There's 4 Allen screws that take it off, and then the whole sensor window along with the desiccant chips are attached to the front end piece. You can see them right here as I turn it around, and you'll notice that I'm not tilting this thing up to get dust on it. So we're going to take out those desiccant chips, because while we're doing this, we might as well put them in the microwave and zap them, you know, to get all the moisture out of them so that they are fully recharged. To actually clean it, I use a small nose sucker, essentially is what it is, to blow dust off the sensor, and then to actually get rid of the gump that was on there, because there was definitely not moisture in my sensor. It was like a sticky residue, almost like an oil that had probably, I don't know, leaked out of some part of the camera and just ran across the sensor. But I used alcohol. Now, you can use acetone. That is something that's also recommended by ZWO themselves, and probably would have worked a little bit better, because the alcohol actually took a good bit of time going back and forth, you know, checking it with a light, making sure all of it was gone, and, you know, getting it off the sensor. Don't worry about the glass here, or the sensor I should say, because there is, even behind the sensor window, there is another sheet of glass that is actually right on the sensor itself, which is really what you're going to be cleaning. I know I thought that I was actually going to be cleaning the actual sensor, but that's not the case. There is yet another piece of glass underneath. For the little pucks that you need to dry out, just stick them on a plate, put them in the microwave, cook them for 2 minutes. They'll get super hot, and that's fine. And that means that they'll be nice and dry. You want them as dry as possible. That way when you put them together, those things will be able to suck any moisture out of the air once you put the cover back on, because you want the inside of that window where the camera housing is to be as dry as possible. In summary, this was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It was really very simple. I think anybody should be able to do this. So don't feel intimidated just because you're cleaning something that's expensive. It really is worth it. It's a lot better to have a clean sensor than it is to have to take really extreme flats to compensate for some dirt or muck or something or another that's on the inside of your sensor window. Interestingly enough, this stuff that was on the sensor, it only showed up when using my oxygen filter. In hydrogen and in sulfur, this stuff didn't show up at all, even though I could clearly see it on the sensor itself with my eye. But cleaning it through this procedure cleared it right up, and now my flats are perfect, as are my lights.